Hey guys, it's Dag, and it is Sunday evening, which means that the Pixel Erasure team is live and kicking, and we are here to do all kinds of damage to ourselves while we're playing World of Warcraft Cataclysm. So I was going to say we're going to do damage in dungeons, but actually the dungeons do more damage to us. So it's like, hey. Before I go any further, I wanted to mention today's national holiday is International M&M Day. So here's a trivia question for you guys. We all know who the 1M is in M&M's, right? You guys know who that is?
No.
Mars.
Mars, yes. But do you know who Mars' partner was that started M&M's?
McGillicuddy.
No.
Mr. Eminem.
No,
Matt.
yeah,
Michael.
Mr. Peanut. No, it was Muri, Murrie. So Mars and Muri were the two M's in M&M's. And
Murray.
So 1941 was
Murray.
when they were created, and they were actually used for military rations. So it's like, hey, they had it pretty good.
Oh.
So
They wouldn't melt in the tropics.
they wouldn't melt in their mouth, or no, they melted in their mouth, but not in their hands or pockets
Right.
or pants or whatever, wherever they stashed them, right? Yeah. So sounds better than K rations, I can tell you that. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, go have some M&Ms. If I had any in the house, I'd be munching on them right now because I went wine tasting this afternoon and I'm like craving something sugary. But yeah, I don't have them, so we'll skip all of that. So how you guys been this week?
Stellar.
Missed out.
Hey, how was your raid? I saw on the chat that you guys were going to do a raid with your retail tunes.
I died
I've
horribly
had
several
I
times.
had a lot of fun, but I died way too many times.
How many? What was your character, Peep? I didn't even see that.
Marin the
Yeah.
arcane mage.
Oh, it was Arcane Mage? Okay. I had my Huntard in there. I think there were two Hunters, right? But
Yeah, there were two other arcane mages. No other kinds of mages.
oh,
Other
man.
mages are fail. So
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we had some fails in there because
no, they're not. They're not
were-
at all. But
we were
I'm
doing
just
like
saying.
the hardcore version of some of the bosses, and people didn't know the how they work. I didn't know how it worked and stuff, so it's like I was along for the ride. But I got some good loot out of it for probably
Yeah, we did the older war.
Time Walker.
We did the older war thing. Yeah, Time Walking, right?
Yeah, and I got
Cool.
some good stuff out of there. But I mean, it was for the tune that I'm probably not going to be playing much on. So
But you met the
Sorry, I
nice
didn't make
people
it,
that
though.
I'm running with right now, which is really all that matters.
yeah, and I didn't realize. My son told me, he says, "Why don't you take your horde warlock in there?" I said, because I thought it was only alliance, and it's like it shouldn't have mattered. They should have been. You should have been able to go in with either. And I'm going,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I think you can, but I don't know if you have to be in the guild or if you have to. I had no idea, no
Yeah.
clue how any of it works.
I don't either. So anyway, that's good question. But maybe if they aren't so disgusted with having to do so much healing on me, maybe we'll find out next time.
Yeah,
We
sorry I
go on
didn't make it.
Saturday nights, which is, yeah, it's okay. Just
Yeah, it was,
come along some other time. Everyone is welcome on Saturdays.
I was asleep when you put out the invite, so I was like, I logged in about an hour later, and I was like, oh, nope, they're in the middle of it.
You could have probably still come in.
I was going to say, we had someone drop off, so we probably could have added you.
Mm-hmm. They've got another guild that they partner with to do big stuff like that. It's not a sister guild, it's just a friend, a guild that is their friend.
A guild with benefits?
I guess so.
That sounds kind of strange.
I think it's just raiding.
We'll buff you guys, okay?
Yeah. So it looks like we have the opportunity to hit a new one tonight. We could do Lower Blackrock Spire if we catch it.
I did tell my friend in
Oh,
the
no,
guild,
it's locked.
Corey,
I'm
that you were
sorry.
interested in doing arenas and stuff, and he said, "Sure, tell him to come on, and we'll do it. We'll go and do some PvP."
Yeah, I'm interested. I've been sort of distracted this last week because I've been leveling Blood Elf Paladin, and I just got them to 60 today, and so I finally went on that Blood Knight quest to go
Ugh.
get that armor.
It's a cool set, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute while I make some cookies.
Okay, sold
What's the
everything.
minimum boss we need to kill to do this one and queue for another one?
Well, I was looking at what we can do. We're locked into just Upper City
Yeah.
because Dalfrin is too high for lower or detention block, and Sultana and Sherlock have to get leveled up before we can go to Blackrock.
What do you have to be for BlackRock? 57?
Yeah.
I'm like 1 1/3 bar away from 57, but I
Well,
don't know.
let's run this one and then we'll random. Hopefully, we'll get that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my lesser mana oil on my weapon.
Oh,
Any
cool.
biscuits available?
Working on it.
Look at that. Just as I was thinking about it. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Corey, did you see all of the
No.
scrolls in the bank?
I haven't checked it, so no.
Oh, okay. That would have given you. It was for your shield.
Oh, okay. I will go
Thank
and
you,
do
sir.
that when we're done with this one.
You whining?
Alright.
I told you.
He's just standing there whining, being a lunatic.
Wine.
I'll wait for the GABA to kick in.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Cupcakes, yum.
Corey's ready to run it.
Let's do this.
Do it.
Medic starts beating on my face.
Yeah, if he's beating on your face, he's not doing his job, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to target something first.
You all not.
Just an average officer.
I need a target.
Been playing retail paladin all day, so my buttons are all mixed up.
No, you're just mixed up. There's a difference there.
Hello, I'm trying to blame the computer, okay?
Nice try, though.
Somebody,
I almost bought it. Not.
All right.
That was a heck of a
Some of this
roll.
problem needs to be solved by you attacking the target that the tank is on. Walking over to the tank and dropping your threat.
Are you talking
When
to
you don't do that,
anyone in
I'm
particular?
talking to everybody. Absolutely everybody. You all need to do that because basically it makes it much harder to heal everybody when I have to heal somebody that shouldn't be getting threat. It's the tank's job is to keep threat, but you guys also have the job of dumping the threat when you have it.
Oh,
So you
well,
should
the tank sucks,
put
so,
the
you know.
tank on focus. Yeah, let's blame the tank. It is actually mathematically speaking, it is a waste of mana for me to be healing you when you aren't dumping threat because you take more damage than the tank does, and you cost more to heal. You know what I mean?
I was just trying to off
It's
the medic. I'm being
The,
lectured, folks. Damn DPS. Like the tank gets some threat.
Yeah, and it's a little bit harder for me to see where those guys are attacking when we're up against a wall and there's like little things in the way. So I'm like trying to see if I have their threat or not, and sometimes I don't, and when I think I do.
I can tell when I have
Well-
the threat because they all start attacking me for no apparent reason, even though I'm not doing anything to them because I am a nice person.
Okay, I've got.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're in an AoE situation where you're just going to get some threat, that's fine. But you
That's the
should
medic.
still stand next to the tank so that the threat table is right next to them. Like when they do a threat, when Corey throws down a consecrate or another threat generating spell, that you guys are all within that radius and it pulls it off of you. If you're out of that radius when you're doing AoE, it doesn't work as well, which is why you should always run to the tank and pause for a moment, let their threat, because everything they do generates threat, almost everything they do. And you just gotta wait, and then you can run away from them and get some distance. Rules might change in different raids and dungeons.
Your mileage may vary.
Yes, exactly. But for the content that we're doing, that's pretty much going to be the rule.
Ding-a-ling.
You know, and if you have threat from somebody that's really damaging you, you can always yell out, "Hey, can somebody get this average footman off of me?" or whatever. Call attention to it. That's also not wrong. Ooh, somebody has metal to pick up in the wall. Ooh, dark iron.
I know.
Ooh. I mean, I don't know if you can use the dark iron, but it can
I sell
definitely
it,
level
but,
your
you know.
mining, hopefully.
Yeah. There's dogs next to it, though.
Dark iron
True, we'll have to
highway,
murder
I'm
the
gonna
dog.
ride you all night.
Well, I'm waiting for the tank to do something.
You're going my way. I'm gonna chew you like a nasty Kong.
Oh, the tank will do something. You just wait. I tried to make you sound real sinister, but I don't know if I
Yeah,
can.
no.
No Targets.
How much is the dark iron ore selling for on the auction house?
I don't recall. It's like 4 or 5 gold for each one.
Ah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't have a target.
Yeah, it's worth selling. I can't make anything with it.
For
but-
sure. No, but you could if you were a blacksmith who was getting rep with the Thorium Brotherhood. I think that's what that's for.
They're like, shield? What shield? I don't care about no shield.
Yeah.
I don't need no
That just
stupid
tickled.
shield.
You see that big circle of hurt on the ground? That's Corey doing that. And if you have threat, if you just get to there, then that's usually sufficient. It's the circle of hurt. Called consecration, but it is the circle of death.
I like Circle of Hurt better. It's more descriptive.
You like circle of hurt?
Yeah.
Circle of hurt.
And Johnny Cash covered that song.
There's a shield.
I bet they feel that one. Oops. What's this guy doing?
You guys need to stop whining. My goodness.
You know, there's a big old fire thingy behind us.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Puppy. We've definitely got to take you to your doctor. God damn it. I got to deal with my dog. Don't die.
All right.
We didn't.
We'll hang out in the potential ring of hurt.
I'll just take a nap. I could also figure out what I'm supposed to do with my talents, I guess.
Ah, don't worry about that.
I have one unspent talent. And, yeah. Let's see. See where I am with stuff at this point.
I have to go find a heating pad for him. I'll be right back.
We should find a heating pad for me, but okay. 2
Uh-huh.
0 2 2 3 1 2 2 2 2
Not one under there.
Not in here.
1 3 1. What did I get? Shadow Fury. Woohoo. If I had it on my bar, it'd be really cool. Stick it over there. I don't like it over there, but I'm going to stick it over there anyway. There we go. That's better.
We have 2 heating pads, and I can't find the one I usually use for the dog, so I had to give him mine. Okay.
Wrap him
Sorry
up in
about
it.
that. Yep, I just laid it over the top, but he'll lay down on it where it's comfy for him. Poor baby. Well, I'm gonna have to look into getting a heated doggy bed.
And then figuring out how to keep the cats out of it.
Yeah.
Barbed wire.
He might not actually care if a cat's in it. He sleeps next to the cat a lot, so. Be more soft, squidgy heat source.
Considering
Yeah,
the
he's
ambient body
using
temperature for cats is like 103.
Yep. Yeah, he wants the heating pad because he's just laid down on it. This heating pad heats up really fast. This new one that I got.
And I like
And
the old
it's a
style
nice
where it was. Is it
shape.
going to work? Is it going to work? Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah. No, this one is like, it's a quilted cloth and it's a rectangle shape and like a long rectangle instead of a short, barely a rectangle like the old ones
It's
were.
got a high aspect ratio.
And it's really flexible and bendable, and you can wrap it around your neck and
Go lay down.
you can wrap it around stuff. It's really nice.
Quit being
Wrap
my
it around
foot.
your chihuahua. Put the
Like a
heating
chihuahua.
heating pad and the chihuahua in a pillowcase.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a chihuahua sleeping bag heating pad. Chihuahua sleeping bag is any pillowcase around a pillow. That's what they like to do. They like to poke in there and dig around and make a little bit and get covered up.
I don't have a target.
Vanadium loop of the owl.
That's
Nothing for me.
29% for me. No, that's holy. I'm sorry. Never mind. Nothing
It's
for
nothing.
me.
I mean, it's
Did
still
not.
probably better than what you got. You should be basing it on eye level more than anything. If the eye level is still higher and it has your appropriate stats on it, it's probably still fine.
No, my lowest one is the same eye level as Ed. I got a higher one, so I'll pass on
Okay.
that.
Groovy. Well, Jeff can squish it into magic.
All right, I will do
Dust.
that.
Squish. Squish, squish, squish.
The vanadium
Squishity
loop of the owl.
squish.
Hoot, hoot.
Yes. Sounds very dramatic.
You're about near the loop. Loop of the owl. What owl?
The owl with the loop.
In April of next year, they're going to have Labyrinth with a real orchestra here in Denver.
Oh, nice.
And the tickets are expensive, but all the good seats are already gone. Literally everything in the front row of the balcony is all gone. All of the mezzanine is gone. And all that's left that's like definitely a good seat is the orchestral section. And it's too expensive. I haven't been in the Paramount for a while. Do you remember Corey, have you been there?
A long time ago.
Yeah, I don't remember if their balcony is one of those that only has the good seats in the front or what. You know?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's annoying. I didn't die. Something killed my battle elixirs.
Woohoo.
Right, I got a copper key.
Yeah, I've still got one of those from last time, I think.
I got a rock.
Dun 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 dun.
I need a target. I don't have a target. I need to target something first.
A sheep wandering around back there. Bah?
It butted me right in the groin.
You immune little bastard.
Alright, well, now my dogs are bothering me, so I'm gonna come
Okay.
back over here and take care of them real quick.
Okie doke.
But you finally decided to lay down under the desk. Not this desk, but the other desk.
Yep. He's like, alright, I give up. I'm just gonna sit here and be stoned. Which I would prefer for both of them to just settle down and not make everything worse.
But they're not listening to you.
I know. It's like they can't speak English. Almost. So here's this macro. We're gonna create a macro, everybody. You ready?
For what?
Assisting the tank. I think you'll like it. So
Assisting
open your
the tank.
game menu.
Yes.
Open your game menu. Click
Yep.
on macros.
Macros.
Now do click a new, and then name it whatever you want to name it. Assist tank
Help.
is what I'm going to call it.
Corey.
I'm going to use the big paladin hoof print because as the icon because we have a paladin tank, and then click OK. Now, in the box down below, under enter macro command, you want to put /assist Saltania. And then
Of course, we have to know how to spell that.
hit
Okay.
save.
First, I gotta.
And then you want to drag that macro to the bar, to one of
Yep.
your action bars. Okay?
Alright, sorry about that.
As assist.
Is it like a
Oh.
/ assist or what?
Yeah. I'm going to say it right now. So you can see in the chat.
Does the Sultania have to be?
Capitalized.
That's our tank. It's assist
No.
your tank name.
Does it have to
does
be
it have
a
to be capitalized?
capitalized
I don't
S?
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
2 words or 1?
It just says assist tank name.
Okay.
2
so
words
I'll
or one?
save
It's
that.
2 words. It's 2 words. Assist tank name is the macro. You just replace tank name with your tank's name. And now, because Saltania is our tank, you might not even have to have that tune in focus as the focus target. So that frees up your focus target for other things if you wanted to use it for other things. But that should get you the tank's target. Like, Corey, would you target something?
Targeting something.
Target something, anything. Tell me when you're done.
I have targeted the bloodhound down the way.
And
All
right.
yep, it
When I
worked.
click my macro, it shows right up.
Now,
So there you
Yeah.
go.
target something else now. I want to see if it switches.
Done the average medic on across the way.
Yep.
Now you
it
have
switches.
to actually click it again.
It doesn't switch. Yeah.
You gotta click it again.
Yeah, you have. Yeah,
But
you have to
that's the
click.
way that you can, with that macro, you can guarantee that you're always on the tank's target. So if you're confused while you're fighting and go, why is this guy hitting me? Am I on the tank's target? You can just hit it again to make sure. Like I said, you can't always, universally you can't always be on the same target. There are times when you're going to be on something else, like on a runner. You're going to be responsible for getting them dead, which means you're going to switch off of the tank's target if
Like
that's
that.
somebody
Get
that's
them
running away.
dead.
You know what I mean? Yeah, get them
Hurry
dead.
up-
You're going to
hurry up and
unalive
get
them
them dead.
or whatever. But that's a quick way to get on the tank's target and be sure that you're on their target. You're going to make them unalive.
Yeah,
Why are you waiting?
sorry about that delay there. I was getting very bothered by the dogs because I think they had not been fed yet.
Yeah.
Oh, babies.
Yeah, so they're co-owned by Jennifer's ex-husband, and he usually takes them during the weekend, and he brought them over like right after they were supposed to be fed. So I assumed that he had fed them.
No such luck, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the way that they were acting that they hadn't been, so had to
They
feed
could
them
just
real
be
fast.
lying liars. You never know.
Yeah.
But how would
My
you ever
animals will
be?
do
How
that.
would you ever
I'll-
tell? You know,
Yeah.
if you weren't the
I'll-
one that fed them.
I'll feed them, and then they'll come up to my wife and go, "Hey, we're still starving."
Lying liars. Our cats are lying liars.
Which I probably,
I need to target something first.
would have been fine, except that their feeding time is normally 6 o'clock, so
Right?
they've been bothering me like for an hour and a half. So I'm like,
You guys are probably still hungry. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what Odie's problem is right now.
Is he still whining?
Yep. He was lying down, now he's whining.
Yeah.
Whining and dining.
He probably wants a snack.
Early.
It is. It's a little early. Yeah.
It's never too early for a snack.
Odie says, "Here, here." You tell him, man on the computer net that I don't know. I always figure the dogs think it's just they call it the lighty box. The lighty box. There's a lighty box up on the high thing where Mommy sits, and then there's another smaller lighty box that's on the bed that she picks up and waves in our faces sometimes, and it's all lighty boxes. It's got nothing to do with us.
He's too far away.
I did not know I had a mirror image spell. That was fun.
So I had a thing this week. I didn't tell you about this. I had the phenomenon this week where I couldn't remember if I'd told Kurt something or not, because a weird thing happened to me during the week, and I hadn't told him. I just had I was one of those times where I was like, did I actually tell him about this, or did I imagine that I told him about it?
I'm like, first I've heard of it.
I had a police officer came knocking at my door
What'd
at
you do?
7:30 in the morning. One day. Well, first of all, they woke me up. I was like, huh? What? I opened the door. There's two police officers standing there, and the first thing I think is, Curtis is dead. He's been in a car accident, and they've sent the police officers to tell me. And so for half a second, he was dead, right? Because I was like, because if he
I
was
think it was no more
okay,
than a
it was
quarter
just in the
second.
hospital.
Charging.
If he was just in the hospital, that's a phone call. They only send an officer when the person's dead at the scene, right? So, and I know this because I used to be married to a police officer. But anyway, so I was scared to death. And then the lady goes, "Yes, we just got a, we're just here on a welfare check because one of your neighbors said that she hadn't seen you in a while and wanted to know if you were okay."
Ah,
And then I was like, "Okay, Kurt is not dead. Hooray!"
and neither am I.
Welfare check? What? Well, I was like, are you sure you have the right address? Are you sure you don't want next door? Because that lady is like 90 years old and she's got some health problems. And they go, "Oh, yes, that does make more sense. Well, this is the address they gave us. Sorry." I was like, "Okay, I'm going back to bed now. Have a good day." Ah. But Kurt was like, "Well, you must not have been that scared because you didn't tell me about it." And I was like, "No, that's not true. I was totally scared. But then they told me what they were there for, and I knew you weren't dead. So
Didn't
like
matter.
it didn't have to be a big deal at that point." And I was like, "Oh, good.
Kurt's
Curtis is not
I
dead.
can stop
Good.
caring.
Yeah, this is acceptable."
As long as he's alive, I don't care if he's upside down in a ditch.
But that's not who would be telling you anything if you were upside down in a ditch either. That would still be a phone call.
I like the fact that you ratcheted down this list of possibilities in less than half a second.
Yeah,
I need a target.
that's my
I
brain.
have a target.
That's how my brain do.
I think this dog needs to go outside.
I think you're right. He's making outside noises. Just gonna have
He's
to
not
pick him up
using
and
his
take
inside
him.
voice.
No, he isn't. He has an inside voice, believe it or not. He goes. "Row, row, 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 row."
And just like that.
It is. It's adorable.
It's the giggle at the end that kills me.
He doesn't do that. That's me. I'm the one that does that.
Oh.
It's the cutest thing you've ever seen. He just sits there and talks to you. Like, okay. There used to be at a place that oh God, you guys, what did you do? Kurt got up to let the dog out.
Who let the dog out?
Kurt got up to let the dog out, and he said he was doing it.
Who?
Well, I was just following the tank, and he threw a shield.
And
Well, That was
He'll
my
be
fault.
right back. That's all right. He'll be right back.
I thought
After these messages, he'll be right back. Burp. We used to have a neighbor dog, this little Westie, the little white Westie, that used to get out in the backyard early in the morning. We called him News Reporter Dog because he would get out there and just go ruff, 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 ruff. He really sounded like he was like, "Good morning, neighborhood," and now the news.
For the rest of the story.
This is the news. And the songbirds would go peep, 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 peep. So it sounded like a news report. It was cute.
it's funny because I was actually here earlier today on my paladin retail paladin.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, because I leveled up to that quest level. They're like, yeah, you need to go in here and kill those things for the elemental cores or the elemental things or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, I know exactly where that is.
Cool.
I've only been spending the last month over in there for
2 hours every Sunday for the last month.
Yeah.
I'm intimately familiar with it now.
Hello?
He's
Hello.
back.
Yellow.
Yeah, well, I had to go take the dog out. Yeah, this is the dog days of WoW here.
It is.
Dog days of summer.
You can leave him in here.
I need a target.
Grove was all over that second fire guard.
Silly animal.
He was ready to come for us. I knew it.
You had his number.
That's it.
Target not in sight.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, he's around the corner.
Corey, my guild's gonna be doing the raid content for the next patch, so we'll all be in here doing this as a raid.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to come along.
Yeah.
I don't know what you have going on Saturday nights, so.
Currently nothing, but
Saturday night's all right for fighting.
It is alright for fighting, which is why you should come and raid. I'm taking some time off of my role-playing group to spend time playing WoW.
Saturday. Senior designer
I wonder-
pantaloons.
Pantaloons?
Yes.
I can't
I
tell
wonder
they're
if,
like because okay, I'm
go
just
ahead.
gonna take the stupid rifle even though I don't need it.
Rifle pattern?
I've already got that rifle pattern. I just haven't been able to get my engineering up to the point where I can make it.
Yep.
That's what I was kind of
You
working
just
on
gotta
after the
set
game
aside
last
some
night.
money. Gotta set aside some money. Go to the guide, see how much stuff you need, get a shopping list together, and then have your other tunes help out with the money until you've got enough, items. Have your
And my main is still trying to
your-
buy the last level of flight because that's like 5,000 gold.
Yep. And after you have that, then you'll be able to start making money for the rest of your tunes. And you just do your shopping list for your engineer, and when they've got enough to go from one level to the next, then you send it all to them and get them going. But engineering is super expensive. It really is. It still is, actually. Although to be
Yeah.
fair, all of the professions are expensive now. So
They're all expensive,
Well,
especially
this is
in
in
classic.
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm.
Ooh.
So
You
should
should
we
have an.
backtrack and go get the other bosses down here? See if that'll
Sure.
give us
Sure.
our key.
Sure.
What,
We
you didn't
should,
want to go all the way to the end and then have to backtrack then?
Yeah.
Are we all at 57 now?
Nope.
I'm 58.
I am a bar and a half away from 57.
Okay.
That'll go quick.
I'm half a bar from 58, so.
I'm 5.5 bars into 57.
I was just gonna
I'm
say
a
we
little
should
bit
have
over
an
5
add-on that
bars from
turns us all
58.
into cows, since it's Cataclysm.
Ooh.
You mean Tauren? Yeah, my Tauren
Yeah.
is named Cataclysm.
Mine's called Kawasaki.
Mine's soy burger.
I don't have any Tauren in retail.
I don't like playing Tauren.
They
I
don't
like
fit
playing
through.
Horde a lot of the time.
They don't fit through the doors.
They take up a lot
Yeah.
of screen space.
They do
So
take up
it
a lot
is
of screen
sensible, I
space,
did,
that's
right?
true. I don't mind playing I don't mind playing my troll and I have a Nightfallen.
I got this.
I leveled a
Fire
Nightfallen
thing that's
Hunter
speed
during
on me.
Panda Remix.
Huh. That's kind of cool that I can use my thing through a wall to get that guy.
Woohoo.
It's kind of cool that he was going through the wall in order to hit me.
Yeah, but I couldn't target him for some reason. Like I had
Yeah,
him targeted.
yeah.
But like I couldn't spell.
Well,
him.
that's why I went line of sight, so he would come down the stairs and, like, there we go.
Yep. Did you guys click the thing?
Yeah,
Yep, I did.
Click what thing?
Okay.
the gear
thing.
while
Thing
we
to
were.
make
With
the
the
gears
stuff.
start turning.
Yeah,
Oh.
we were during the fight. It was
Open
running.
the door.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's not running now.
Oh, it's because it's open.
I was gonna say I didn't click anything. Honest, it wasn't me.
I didn't do it.
Dang.
Target something first.
Woohoo!
Now we're all 57. We're higher.
Nope. Nope. That was somebody else.
That was me.
Now you're 58. Or
Yeah,
59.
58.
I am still 3/4 of a bar from leveling.
Well, this should do it.
Yeah.
We should leave you to run some of these encounters alone so you can get the experience.
No, it won't matter. The experience goes evenly between everybody, even if you're just standing in the room.
Oh, we can all back out of the room.
No, it doesn't work that way.
I'm just suggesting abandoning a teammate. That's what I'm doing.
Let's see him do it single-handed. Yeah.
He's got a tank.
I mean,
and
you could
heal.
leave the party, but then it will just kick you out of the dungeon. So.
Does it have a debuff if you drop out of the party too?
I believe
No.
so.
Not at this point because we're more than 20 minutes in.
Well, but like
And
if you
and it's in a
dropped out of
pickup
the
group.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more than we've been in here for more than 20 minutes.
Right, I understand,
And
but I
it's
mean,
not
does
a
that work
pickup
for?
group.
Okay, so it only works for pickup groups. Got it. That's what I was trying to get to.
I think. Yeah. Oh, I think that's the case.
Okay. Burning
But now
pitch.
there's a time limit on it too.
You burning pitch, you.
Burn pitch.
Isn't ready.
Sounds like a
You average
like
footman.
4-year-old's
I
insult.
need a target.
My Veronica, when she was little, used to go, "Well, you're just a big bloomba. That's what you are." Okay.
You.
I don't know what a bloomba is, but okay.
I have no idea what a Bloomba is, but I'm happy to be part of it.
I'm here for it.
There we go.
Yay! Good job.
Yay, team.
Really?
Let me back up a little bit.
Let me get behind the tank. That seems like a good idea.
Yeah, something new.
Yeah, just for a change. Just so
Tactics?
things don't get too boring.
Dicks is what happens when you misspell tax.
Yeah, I was trying desperately not to die in the last couple of fights in Raid last night. I wasn't feeling very good, and I probably shouldn't have gone. But I'd been looking forward to it all week, so it was really hard to back out. I didn't do that well, but
I need to eat a cupcake.
nobody really cares in that guild as long as you're trying your hardest. They don't really care. They're pretty casual, but somebody was like, not referring to me, but in general, they were like, your guild, with a raid leader finished describing one of the fights, and somebody goes, your guild does mechanics?
Yeah.
And somebody else goes, what are mechanics?
That was us on Friday night. That was.
Yeah.
It's like, how are we gonna try to get the mount off of? Was it Mimron? No, the other.
No, the final guy, the
Yeah.
old god guy.
That was pretty funny. It's like, what are we supposed to do again? Who's going into the portals? Who isn't?
I was fine with going into the portals. I knew what needed to be done. I just couldn't seem to stay away from the green clouds. They just seemed to be everywhere.
Well, yeah, they popped randomly around the room, and people were just in them as a matter of course. It wasn't like they were trying to be anything, you know.
It wasn't like they were trying to not do it right. They were, you know, it just spawns right next to you, and you're like, what? But I figure if I really ever want that mount, I can just go in on a character that's far over leveled for it and just take care of it that way. Try to get the mount.
Yeah.
It's not important to me that the mount drops in a place where it's like, I really fought hard for that. Nah, I don't care.
Yeah, I could care less. It was like I've done that a bunch of times. It's better to go in with at least one person, because one person can go in and clear out the room, right? The portal. The other person can still be up beating on stuff.
Yep.
But it's been a long time since I've been in a raid, period.
I don't go into Ulduar very much simply because it's so much running and it's so much stuff. It's so far away and you can't mount, and just a major pain in the butt. And everything that I cared about in there I've already got, so this was the first time I've gone in for quite a while. I only went in because I wanted gear for my main, and I got some
taking
too.
a cupcake break.
Yeah, I actually got like 3 pieces for my hunter, but like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's like, yeah, probably useless because I'm not going to run with him very much. But that's okay.
But just think how much easier it'll be to get through the content when you do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm better.
I was running around on my marksmanship hunter tonight having a great time. Or earlier in the day, I mean. Beast hunters are fun. Marksmanship hunters are also fun.
Yeah, Beast Hunter is what I'm playing with, and I was having fun with it on the raid, but it was like...
They're a good time.
Yeah, but they don't do squat on damage. That's the problem this time around.
The beasts do, if you get a good beast.
Yeah, they do. I was looking at the chart. The hunters are right up at the top. They're not even mid-tier. They're doing fine. Or they're at the top of the mid-tier. They're not at the bottom by any means. But Portal Shadow Priests, man, they're suffering right now.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that the other night.
I love my Shadow Priest. I was disappointed to hear that.
I finally got my Frost Mage leveled, and I was having all kinds of fun with the final little heroic talents that you get.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty nice little boost.
Yeah, it's fun. So I was gonna say, if you want to try Arcane, I can put you through an Arcane school. Because I was just out there tonight doing that quest that the one where you drop the ore off that doesn't appear but every 6 weeks or whatever. Out
Yeah.
in yeah, that one. And
That's really a low drop rate.
and I was like I was sitting there thinking I was gonna die when this one one elite mob was attacking me, and I was like, die? I have no excuse to die. I literally have 4 different things that I can mediate damage with. And I survived too because I used a frost nova to pin his ass to the ground. I blinked away. I healed myself. I threw up all my defenses and my damage mitigation, and I
You
was
threw
fine.
up on your fences?
I don't have
I
a
Yeah.
did. I
target.
threw up on my fences.
That's what I heard. Threw up.
I threw up my defenses.
Ah, got it. Okay.
I'm out of range.
I like throw up on my defenses better.
There are like literally, there's one thing, you've always got your shield, right? Your little barrier. And then you've always got your mirror image. Most of the time that's enough. But there's also, it's not called ice block anymore because you don't ice block. It's just something that reduces damage. So there's that. And you can also pick the mass barrier talent, so that's another one. Yeah, so that's like 4 things that you're just given that you can survive with. And that doesn't even count the Frost Nova and any potions and stuff. You just need Arcane Mage Boot Camp. And then at the end of that, if you still prefer Frost, then that's just a preference, you know what I mean? But at least you should see how Arcane is done properly. Because I was out there giving myself a lecture. Yeah,
And
like,
here comes the grooves.
seeing Arcane done properly is something that's important, you dumb Arcane Mage. Don't you dare die out here. Have a taste your own medicine. I mean, nobody's gonna not die with the dumb crap that I ended up doing in the raid. I failed on a mechanic and it murdered me. That's why I died, because I was dumb.
So I have a question about hunters in Classic. So I picked up a Crocolisk. And that was the one that I mentioned on one of our streams, Peep, that the Crocolisk, I went and I was just killing Crocolisk because that was what they had required for this one quest. And
Right.
but there was one that was like a special one, special coloring and everything out there.
The white one?
No, this one was kind of a emerald green.
Yeah, there's a
we
rare
got
out there
all
that's
kinds of-
like
We've got all
super
kinds of
brighty
stuff
and
firing at us over here. But I picked it up, and I found out it does not have. There's no way to get it to go jump on stuff. You can't send it to go fight before you.
You gotta
actually
train it.
train
You gotta
it.
go to the pet trainer and train it in growl and all the other skills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
We're getting shot at again.
Yeah, I killed
Yeah.
him.
He dead.
He be dead. He unalive.
He's been unlived.
Yes.
We erased his pickles. Pixels. I can talk.
I mean,
Is he
erasing his
pickled?
pickles works as well.
Yeah. Is he dill?
But if it's also a matter of just the things aren't showing up on your pet bar, which also might be the problem, because that was extremely buggy back in Classic.
Okay.
You can open up your spell book, and on the pet tab, you can drag the spells from your pet to your bar. and the bar will appear when you hover that spell over, where the pet bar is.
Okay.
The frames will just appear when you hover down and drop. You can drop them in there.
Yeah, because all the special stuff that this Crocolisk has was on the bar. But the stuff like
Right. Okay. And it sounds like
the
it's
stuff
a
like
pet bar
attack
problem.
and yeah, the other stuff was not
Mhm.
there. And it's like I can't get him to go and fetch.
Yeah. Well, and first of all, there's a pet bar problem. You got to go into the spell book. Second of all, I recommend a macro which places your hunter's mark and does the pet attack at the same time.
Got it.
And when you're next time you're playing him, just whisper me and I'll send you that text for that macro.
Okay.
Because that's pretty convenient.
Yep.
Because then you don't have to think about the hunter's mark as a separate thing. I always forget it. I'm like, so I googled one day, is there a macro for hunter's mark and pet attack? Why, yes, indeed. You turn out to be not the first person who's thought of this. Thank goodness, because I don't know how to write macros.
Yay.
He
We
be
did
dead.
it another.
Once again.
Ooh, I'm
The
gonna
enemy
roll on that
is
jewel
dead.
crafting one. That's cool.
I'm gonna
What'd I get?
disenchant stuff while I'm waiting on you guys here. Yay.
All
Get some
right.
stuff in my bags.
I must change headphones, so let's do you want to take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Or an 8-minute break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandra,
8 minute.
remind you about 8 minutes. Our guild decided 8 minutes is the perfect break because 5 minutes is kind of too short and 10 minutes is too long.
I'll be back.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back. Hang in there.
Woo.
So,
Well, is
Crow's got a
there any
quest.
reason you can't just teleport out and teleport back in?
I've got to get. Well, I'd have to buy gold bars. I don't know how much they'd cost.
Yeah, but then you just teleport out, go to the auction house, get your bars, and come back.
Yeah, okay. Let me try that. You guys don't mind?
No, we'll just meet you at the beginning.
So we got to go to Summoner's Tomb. That's where we got to go.
Yeah, that's down a level.
Yeah, there's back where we were at, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Take me down to the Shadowforge City.
Where there is no grass and the dwarves are pretty.
Ew.
Some ugly dwarves I've seen.
I think they're
Take me
cute.
down to the Paradise City where there ain't no grass and the dwarves are gritty.
There you go.
They are gritty down here. I used to sing that about Silvermoon. Every time I go to Silvermoon City, I go, take me down to Silvermoon City where the grass is green and the elves are pretty.
I think elves are
Because
petty.
they are.
Petty.
They are.
Yeah.
They are also kind of petty, but they are pretty, for sure.
And
That's
they
true.
die just horribly.
They're so dramatic.
They are.
I'm coming
know.
to join
You
ya.
know what though? Running a night elf male for my main for the last couple of years though, yeah, they have a pretty dramatic death as well.
Yeah. Jump up in the air, spin around, and flap.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Well, I'm glad we've cleared all this stuff. This is great.
Glad it hasn't all respawned on us.
Yeah, that's.
I think the
Well,
blood
not
elf
yet.
jokes are probably my favorite after the human male jokes, the sillies. The blood elf male, if you flirt, he says, Come closer. Closer. Oh, watch the hair.
I'm surprised he doesn't go, oh baby, oh baby, oh.
He goes, watch the hair. Because you have to watch the hair. Don't want to mess up his hair.
I'll be raged. I see how it is.
I was in a horde guild for a few minutes.
Minutes?
Maybe back in BFA.
Someone dinged.
I had a regular guild, and then we had
That
a
was
horde
me.
side guild
Congrats.
because you couldn't have both in one guild at the time, right? So some of our guild went over and formed a horde side guild, and we went and did stuff together. And I have a
Word
a
side.
blood elf monk, and I used to dress him as fancy as I could. And they would know when I had logged on, because the first thing I'd say on Discord was, "Hello, ladies."
Oh, you rake you.
And I put pirate shirts on him, and he was always dressed real flashy.
Nice. Oh, gotta have the bling. There you go.
They thought that was pretty funny. But now I've got Casanunda, the romantic dwarf.
Yeah, and who does he romance?
Everybody. Casanunda is a highwayman. He's from the Discworld books by Terry Pratchett.
I like Discworld.
Yeah, me too.
The squirrels.
Yeah, you and I both like that and the Sheriff stories.
Cherry.
Mm-hmm. CJ Cherry, yeah. Yep. Yep,
You know
we
why
have
it's spelled
lots
that
of
way,
fiction
right?
in common.
No, why?
Because back in the day, they were afraid of printing a woman's name. They were afraid of printing women in general, so they had her call herself CJ. And they certainly didn't
Yeah,
want
instead
somebody
of
with the last name
Caroline.
of Cherry.
Is
Because it's
that
just
kind
Cherry with a silent
Really?
H. Yeah.
Huh,
Well,
okay.
the reason that so the first initial thing is correct, but the reason she differentiates her name with the H has nothing to do with that. It's because her brother is an artist who was getting pretty popular doing book covers around that time. So, and his name is David Cherry. And so she differentiates her name from him by adding an H on the end, and that's where that came from.
Ah. No, I love her stories, man. Those are great.
Yeah, she's amazing. But the reason she's CJ is completely correct. That is super true. That's why Andre Norton, hardly anybody knows that Andre Norton is a woman.
No, I knew that.
Yep, a lot
Well,
of people don't.
there's a
though.
bunch
They're
of
like,
those on that were
Yep.
from back in the day.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it,
for
it-
sure.
it wasn't cool to be a writer if you were a woman. You had to be a guy.
Especially
to be
not a
taken
sci-fi
serious.
writer.
Yeah.
You could write contemporary fiction, and that was acceptable, but not
If
sci-fi
you wrote,
and
and if you
fantasy.
wrote romance, you had to be a woman.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's a lot of male romance writers out there with female pseudonyms.
There are. That's true.
Let's see, who are we looking for to get the key from?
I can't
He's
remember.
upstairs, isn't he?
Yeah,
The
we
guy-
have to go talk to the gnome.
Yeah, the
Get
guy
the
up on the
drinks,
bar.
Give him to the guy who drinks, and then he comes and does a distraction, and Phalanx tries to kick his butt. Yeah. So, Plugger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Plugger. Yeah, there we go.
I'm gonna give the drinks to Private Rocknot. Here you go. See, we're getting him drunk is the idea.
Oh yeah, we opened that last time we ran it. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And then we all died.
No, they were talking about the
Because we weren't ready.
yeah. See,
I fell.
Cody B
That's what
says
happened.
that there is having the old WoW band get up there and play. So yeah, we saw it last week. It was pretty fun. I don't remember
Yes.
how we
Yes,
opened it
we
up,
did.
but
I'm just gonna follow the
This
tank.
guy's gonna come and basically what's gonna happen is this drunk dwarf, he's looking for more booze. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait here by this door, and he's gonna cause a ruckus. And Phalanx, the rock golem guy over there, he's gonna take exception to that, and he's gonna chase him, and he's gonna open the door, and then we're gonna quietly slip through and fight the stuff that's waiting on the other side, probably.
Cool.
And I will not fall this time, I promise.
Well,
Yeah.
good on you. Oh, here we go.
There he goes. He's gonna come open the door.
yeah, don't go to the right.
Let's go to the left.
This guy's hitting me.
Bro! Yeah, just lay there. Just wait.
I'm gonna.
I'll res you. I'll
Thank
res you in a moment.
That guy was spanking me
As
hard, man.
soon as we're out of combat, I will res you. Alright. Mm.
Well, Cody says that
Kick his ass.
Cody says he's been thinking about coming back to WoW. Well, this is classic Cataclysm, so a little different than the
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm, yeah, different than the current expansion. So the retail stuff. But we have fun.
I do.
Yeah, most of us play both, I think, except for Crow.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that doesn't.
Well, you know,
No, I don't.
I've got some
You don't? I
tunes
thought you did.
on retail that I haven't played in ages, and I think they're level 70s.
Ah,
I gotta get on there and level them up.
well, it wouldn't take long.
You played Cataclysm because you were grouped up with me and Walter and
Yeah, no,
everybody.
I've played Cataclysm a lot, but
Yeah.
I've also got retail too. You know,
Yeah.
I just haven't been playing it a lot. You know, I'll be honest, it's like I like Cataclysm. Makes sense to me. Retail, you know, when I was doing, what is that one, Shadowlands? That was kind of interesting. I was pretty good at that, but you know, it's like after a while, it's kind of
Good
like,
job, guys.
okay.
So
I like
Cody says the
Shadowlands,
last
I
time
had a
he
good
played
time.
was, I think, which one was it that we got the weapons and the hall class
Legion.
hall?
Legion.
Yeah. There we
Legion.
go.
I loved Legion. Legion's my favorite expansion.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can get my retail up to, since it
I gotta
sounds
get
like
my mana up and then I'll bring you back to life, Crow.
that's okay. It sounds like it doesn't matter what I don't know realm you're on, that you guys can still group together at
Yes.
retail.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, let
Yeah,
me see
they'd
if
be
I can
across
level
from-
up. Thank you very much. Let me see if I can level up to get something, and then maybe we can all group up in that. That'd be fun.
So
Kurt-
yeah,
Kurt
just don't
would
don't
need to
no
as well.
wifey aggro.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing I got to worry about. Yeah, so.
Well, I
Um,
mean, you just have to sort it out and make sure that you have time to do it. That's all.
Exactly. You know, so.
I mean,
Compromise.
I don't know where. I have an old character that I got. I think it was in some earlier version of retail, many moons ago. I have a Worgen fighter out there somewhere. I have no idea where that character is.
The thing is that right now they've got it so that you can level exponentially quickly in
Yeah,
retail.
they're doing that with.
Yeah, and
They're doing that with Cataclysm too, with the
Yeah.
Joyce Journeys. Yeah.
So I mean, you can
Yep.
you can get your level 70 character. You can have him up to a level in very short order. It wouldn't take.
Okay.
What?
It also
what
doesn't
are-
matter what server you're on either.
Yeah.
Well, let me see what I can do, because like that would be fun. I like playing with you guys. So.
I do
Well,
not have a
delves is
subscription
a
yet
thing
right
that we
now.
can do. You know, when one of us has to take a night off, you can do delves with 1 to 5.
Yes.
So
All right.
If one of us has to be gone, it doesn't mean the rest of us are just gonna run around and chat if we have delves available in retail.
Yeah, I've done.
So it's not
Delves is a lot
desperately
of fun.
necessary, but it's a fun
Plus you
thing
can
we can
get-
do together.
With the delves, you
want.
can get gear that is
Yeah.
just as good as mythic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I think my raid leader said last night, basically mythic has become the thing that you just do with your friends for fun and for keys for the prizes that you get, the mounts and all that kind of stuff. And it's not,
do you do if
the
you don't
gear
have
is
any
not
friends?
superior to the delves right now. So
Wow. Okay.
Now
they
delves are
may
gated,
tune that
so
up to make it better in the future, but at the moment that's how it is. So.
See, now you guys have just like energized me to get my other tunes leveled up. So
Well, maybe take the wife out on an extra date the week that you play retail. I don't know. I'm just making suggestions.
yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, it's like the other side of the coin is like we'll figure things out. But
Hmm.
wait, why am I ahead of the tank?
I don't know why you're ahead of the tank.
Because you're supposed to stack on the tank.
Yeah, that's not good.
We probably should stack tank for this one, actually. Let's go ahead and do that. That's a good idea. Because there's all these ads that we're going to have to eliminate, so... Might as well just stack up. Stack-a-rooney.
I'm just gonna stand back here and like melt some faces.
Melting faces is good. But why don't you stack on the tank anyway? Because then if you get aggro from the little fire guys when they come over, then you don't have to run. Because we know they're coming. So you might as well.
Well, see, they're actually after everybody else, and I'm far enough back.
Yeah,
that it's-
you're doing good at keeping their aggro off of you for the moment, that's for sure. You're doing good, dude.
Dad, a trinket.
Burst of knowledge!
Oh,
I mean,
I'll
as
take
cool
it if
as
you
that
guys...
would be,
I'm
I don't
gonna
I'm
need
actually.
gonna
on that.
I'm gonna do a need on that essence.
Me too.
So,
Oh, and the essence? I don't care
yeah.
about the essence. I'm needing on the trinket, just so you know.
Okay,
That's
I'll
good
pass
for
on it.
healers.
You can have that puppy.
No, you can have it. It's good
Cody,
for
thanks
DPS or
for the
healer.
follow. That was cool. Hey, we got a new follower, guys.
Yay!
Woohoo.
Hi there.
Yay!
Hello. Cheers.
Just so you know, they can't see like the stuff because I'm the only one that's actually streaming.
Well, okay,
Yep.
whatever. But
Yeah.
know, it's like
No.
Ta-da!
I'm talking about us.
Actually,
okay.
Yeah.
I could actually put it up on my iPad next to the computer, and then I could see what was going on. But
Yeah.
I didn't, because I didn't think of it until just now.
Huh. You're
Then you
one of
get-
those Apple people, huh?
Then you'd be able to hear all
Nope,
the extra
I'm not.
stuff that I'm throwing onto the onto the stream because you guys
Yeah.
can't hear the sound effects I'm throwing up there.
Nope.
Right.
No, I'm not an Apple person technically. I just wanted an iPad so I could learn to use Procreate.
Okay.
And then I
I
can use
Procreate.
Affinity
I've got
Designer
like
on
kids
my...
and all that good shit.
Yeah. I got Affinity Designer. I bought the whole package of... I got so frustrated with Adobe that I finally just quit. And I bought Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, and their publishing thing all in one thing for like $89 for a license forever. Forever,
Yeah,
forever and ever.
I hate the subscription crap. That's bull.
Yep. It was really worth it for a while when I was in design school and stuff. But at this point I really don't need most of the functionality, and they've taken away most of the benefits that I thought were really great anyway. Like the Creative Cloud they stopped doing. No more Creative Cloud. They won't store your files for you. And I'm like, well then what good are you? Like why
Yeah.
are you even around?
Weren't they like
They're here
saying
to take your money
they were going to
away.
use all of your stuff that you run through their system and use it for their AI?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing that bothered me. You know, it's like, I mean, it was like they were gonna take all your the creative stuff you had.
Yep. and train they're wanting to train their AI model for free.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
Not good.
No. So I switched to Affinity, and it's a little bit of a learning curve. There's a lot in there that's a little different, but actually, now that I've learned how to do it all, I like it better. I actually like Affinity a lot better.
Cody, you're gonna
You
have to
know,
tell me
and-
It
whether
just
that's
matter-
working. Man.
Larry Ellison doesn't need your money.
That's right. But yeah, so but no shade on the iPad. I'm not a huge fan of Apple either. But
I'm just kind of curious because,
they're
like,
fine.
I have been a Windows-based person
Give
forever.
me a sec.
Yeah, I would never get an Apple machine for gaming ever.
Yeah.
And I know there are people that say that it's great, but I have not found that to be the case. With
Cody,
everybody
I
I know that games on an Apple has eventually gone to a PC. So
said, yeah. Cody, you'll have to
But
tell me whether the command part works or not, because I don't know whether that's working right now for me. For us, my
Right.
night bot, don't know whether it's up and running right.
Nightbot.
Nightbot.
But having said that, I want to make sure that I'm not a total negative Nancy. The iPad is a really good product. Really good.
Well,
Yeah.
it
And,
is.
You know, it's completely justified that they say that it's the greatest tablet around. I think it probably is. So
It is a good tablet. You know,
I really like it.
I'll admit that too. You know, it's like
I've had 3 Android tablets up to now because they were all cheaper, and I just went with an iPad that's a few generations out of date, but it'll still do almost everything,
yeah.
and it's better than every Android tablet I've ever had. So
Yeah, when Apple
know.
switched over to the same processors as normal PCs, like that's when their product really took off.
Yeah.
Right.
As real quality, like outside of just okay, you're paying for a name.
Right.
I still have a little bit of a problem with that because I think Apple still you're still paying for a brand rather than just the product, but versus
That's the way people are.
versus
Yeah, I think
Apple
the thing is
or
that you could
Android.
you can probably game on a Mac these days pretty easily. They had a lot of problems before they switched
Okay,
over.
here we gotta
like
do
you
the
said,
ghost
All
to-
right,
thing.
wait. I got to figure out which guy I got to
He's
talk.
got to do
There
the
it is,
thing.
right over here.
Yep.
Here we go.
But when they did that, I think I haven't heard about anybody using it. I don't know anybody that has a Mac gaming machine since they switched over to PC processors, but
Cool.
I just haven't
I
tried
got
it.
it.
But I bet you can get
So-
a lot more gaming machine for a lot less if you just stick with a PC. Is the point?
Yeah, no, I wasn't advocating for Apple gaming machines. I'm just saying,
Right. But they
I
are better
mean,
than they used to be, right?
yeah. I'm
Okay.
just saying that the tablets in particular were also sort of in that same space.
I'm not sure we have to go
Yeah.
through this whole thing here, guys. I've
Yeah, we do,
learned
because
how
we
to
gotta
do
open-
this. All we need to do is go down to the forge now.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
door
but
won't
we
open
want
until
some
we do the
loot,
thing.
right?
Oh yeah. Okay, you're right.
I mean,
Okay.
this is a boss.
Yeah.
This is a
okay.
boss. We
Gotta
have to.
do it.
I didn't remember that we had to do him to open the door, but we
He's behind
definitely want
us.
the loot.
Okay,
Yes.
so I've got the experience, and I can do the
You can do the thing now.
smelting now. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Thank you guys.
You smelt
Excellent.
it, and you dealt it.
Yeah, I
Well,
dealt
he's
it.
he's
You
the one who
did.
dealt it, so
That's right.
makes
You know,
sense.
it's like right there, man.
But anyway, I haven't been able to afford an iPad for years. Even the used ones were pretty dear for a long time, but it feels like all computers have gone
Oh yeah.
under the sea
Well-
change where they're all so much cheaper right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I am not complaining at all. I appreciate it very much. I'm not entirely sure
this-
what's driving that, but
Well, this last year they
Oh.
actually went up in price because the supply chain finally
I
caught
think
up
it's
to the process.
It's cryptocurrency. They stopped having to worry about that. You know, it's like they weren't the only people that were doing that anymore. So, it put a big dump on the processors.
Especially the GPUs. Because it was the
I don't know.
GPUs that were the Bitcoin miners want.
Right.
Yeah,
They don't care
exactly.
about
Exactly. Let me go back over here. Let you take the heat here. Thank you.
It was like I was looking around for him. I was like, "Where is he?"
Oh, he's coming.
Where'd
Don't
he
worry
go?
Trying to
about
kill
it.
Where'd you
your
go?
shadow
He'll-
priest.
The other
He'll be
tank
right
has
here.
him.
That's right.
He's like, I hate shadow priests. I'm gonna
Your
punch him right
shadow
in the
tank
face.
has him. Yeah, there you go. I love it.
I have on my iPad. I have a flashcards program for my school stuff that I've been using.
Yeah.
And it's nice because I just kind of wanted to have my flashcards with me when I just go somewhere and want to just
Oh,
sit
speaking
and
of
study,
which,
right?
how is your class going? I know you've been doing that, learning how to do all that stuff. So how's that going?
It's good. I wish I had more time in the last couple of weeks, but I'm having a great time.
He is awesome. I should point out. Natural born researcher, if I ever met one.
I don't know. Maybe since you're doing that, I might trust somebody that's doing some of the genealogy stuff. I usually don't because it's like the 23andMe blast.
Well,
It's like
23andMe's gone.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they blew it, man. So,
What happened
but
to
you know,
them?
it's like people that went on that
Bankrupt.
they lost all their info. And that I'm not really cool with, which is why I haven't done
I don't know
any
what
of
they
that.
did. Did they do like
Oh no, they had a
actual
big
stuff
breach.
like ancestry, or was it just DNA?
Oh, they had they had DNA and ancestry, but they blew it and they had a big breach. You know, so all the information that everybody gave 23andMe is now open to whoever can access
going?
that on the dark web. I don't know where he's going.
You
I'm
need to go
following him.
down to the anvil, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's this
yes,
way. Isn't it?
please.
Yeah, it's over here.
Over here, where?
Is
Up.
it through that door?
Is it in Molten Core?
Yeah, it's in Molten Core.
Because there was the anvil down in the center there, so I was just that's what I thought he was
Yeah,
talking
this is
about.
the room full of bullshit, remember?
Yeah, this is the room we've never gone into because we
Or
didn't
is
have
that
a
it?
reason
The
to go into
molten
it.
bridge.
The
Look
molten
at that.
bridge, is this it? Is this where you need
I
to
think
be?
so. Yeah.
We'll just go in here and it's like, oh, wrong place.
Well, you know,
Poke
we'll
our
kill the
heads
shit,
in
and
and
it'll be
see
good.
what's
You
going
know,
on.
it's all
We'll
good.
You
die.
can blame me. Everyone can blame me.
Well, we blame you anyway.
Yeah, I know. That's why it won't hurt much.
That's what's so fun about playing as a team. You know, it's like we know who to blame.
Same guy every time.
It's Murdoch's fault.
All right.
Okay, now
Yeah,
now when he's going
There's
this
a-
way.
I don't
okay.
know. Is there a forge down there? Is that where I gotta go?
Yeah, this is where
Oh,
it's
look at
showing
that.
in the.
A dark iron deposit. This is great. Okay. More stuff.
Yeah, you just follow the yellow brick road, I guess, huh?
I think so.
Except that's not just
Well,
more
he's
destroyers.
part of my yellow brick road. Let me see if I can
Is that
do
the
any
forge
smelting
right
here. Let's see if I can.
Black Forge,
Ed?
that's it.
Let me see if I can do this. Oh yeah, there we go. I created
Nice.
some.
Dark iron bar.
Cool.
Create all.
I was only able to do one, but you know, it's like okay. So
You've only got one.
sorry.
We go through all of that for one bar.
It's a special bar. Come on.
It's so sad, you know. It's like, okay.
I thought the point was that you had a bunch. Here's another node over there. No, it's just a.
I think you might be able to talk to the elf on the outside and have him zoop you exactly to where you need to be, but
Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
But you know, it's this makes a special jewel crafting thing I can do possible. So thank you.
We're not doing the room of bullshit, are we? Are we going upstairs or what are we doing? Room of bullshit.
Room of bullshit.
Yeah, where all
Yeah.
the mobs are.
Where
And you
the
have to find
bullshit is.
two guys in order to get the torches.
Well, we haven't got our
Yeah, we haven't gotten our
sack
bag
yet.
Oh.
We don't have our bag yet. Oh my god.
We have to do the room of bullshit, I guess.
All right. I love that name. The room of bullshit.
That's because it is.
Back
Oh
on the
yes,
tank
this
at all
thing.
times.
Oh yes. This is where I
Back
go.
on the tank. Well, the tank
Damn
is in
it.
the back.
Yeah, tank.
Yeah.
Tanks.
Yeah.
Because
Gotta
I'm
wait
trying
for
not
the
to
tank.
bullshit.
I love this
I don't
game.
know. Tank standing behind the wizard. Let me get
I
out
know.
of there.
All
Yeah, we
right.
gotta look for the torch bearers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow the Northern Star.
Let's see. The
Shadow
torchbearer is like
Forge
walking around.
Butthead.
So let's see. Oh, I found a. Nope, that's a reservist. It's
I
all
see
group.
some. Well, there's something on the left over there that my.
What are they called again?
Pain in the ass.
Yeah, something that I don't see any of the guys.
Fire something. rather.
Run towards a torch. We'll see one of them.
Want to cleave
Hold
to
on.
this wall over here?
Just
Let's
let
go
me make a
run.
Looking
targeting.
to see if I can
Let me
find
make
any
a
behind us.
targeting macro.
Come on, just like randomly run around. It's great, man.
I think making a targeting macro might make it less bullshit. I'm just suggesting.
God.
If you can remember what the hell they're called.
Well, they're the only ones out in that group. That's the thing. So if you run your cursor over them, you'll see one name pop up, and it's like, oh, there he is.
We have
Yeah.
to get 2 of them though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll show up. But just need to find
I'm
out which
just
way to
trying
go
to
first.
remember the name of them.
George,
Torch something or other.
The Shadow Forge asshole.
Sam.
Shadow Forge.
Tom,
I don't know what they are. Shadow
Dick.
Forge Darcy. Shadow Forge Fathead.
The butthead. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the butthead.
I don't see.
Shadow
well,
Forge
it's
Butthead.
got to be. Usually, it's in one of the roving groups or with the roving group. But I
Or
don't see
All right,
any.
well-
find it.
Up. Is that one? No, that's a reservist.
Shadow Forge Potato Head.
Oh, that's a reservist.
They're all reservists except for these 2 guys.
Torchy's Tacos guys.
And then there's Bench. Wait a second. Is that Johnny?
Hey, Billy Bob. I see Billy Bob. There we go.
Oh, you found him? Where?
No, I'm kidding.
Ah.
I worked at this
I'm
company.
just waiting to see how long
Flamekeeper.
it takes Sherlock to set off a troop.
I worked at this company that I had just started with, and I'm really bad at names.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's in the middle area over there. I just marked him.
Okay. And I'm really
Okay.
bad at names, and so like I was like trying to get along with everybody.
Target.
Back on the tank.
I need a target. I
And
don't have a target.
I called this guy the wrong name, and he got offended. You know, it's like,
I
okay.
need to target something first.
So it's like, if you're gonna get offended over this, I'm just gonna call
There
you
it is.
Billy Joe Bob.
Billy Joe Bob.
And yeah, and then he got bent out of shape at that, you know. So it's like,
I don't
I
have a target.
I spent
Back on the tank, please.
I
I am
spent
stacking on the tank.
I spent 2 years dealing with this guy as Billy Joe Bob. His name was Jose. He's a nice guy, but it's like, are you kidding me? You know, it's like,
Did somebody pick up the loot?
I've got it right now. Yes,
Cool.
I have one.
One down.
And I think
All
And I
right.
see a second one.
Do
Mark
you?
it.
Sweet.
He's the guy you're smashing his face in.
Yep.
Nice. Rain of fire! There's a guy behind us shooting us. He's an
Not for
average
long.
reservist.
All right. Now we go to the.
Go plant a
Go
flag.
jump up there. Up. Guess we'll do this first.
We gotta murder these guys first. We must murder!
Fire that puppy up.
And then we run over and do the other one.
Yeah.
Hey, we got some followers here.
We got friends.
Fans. They're fans. They're
Fans,
mobbing us
that's
for
it,
autographs.
That's it. Yeah.
I need a target.
They're screaming like Beetle Girls.
I love that.
This guy might have a torch.
I need to target something first.
You got it! Or Sultania got it.
I don't have it.
Corey has it.
Cool. Let's do this thing.
Now we can go press the button. Press button.
Let's fire up this pig. Wait, where is everybody?
Stacking on the tank. Like we're supposed to.
Not wasting the healer's
Sorry.
mana.
Damn it. Where are you guys?
And it was something out of
It's usually
sorts.
Warlock that pulls that shit. Today in guild, somebody has just come back to the game, and they said, "Are Warlock tanks a thing now?" And the group
Wasn't
guild
me.
goes, "No, why?" And he said, "Oh, I just got out of a pug, and it was pretty bad."
Mhm. Well, thanks for having my back, guys.
That was super funny, because I know there are some players out there that think their voidies can tank things, but that's only outside, guys.
Yeah.
That's just
And
weird
here we
doing
are. Let's go get this pig.
Born
It
to
says,
be king.
"How
We're the
dare you
princes
call
of
me a
the
pig?"
What the hell is this? I
Oh,
don't want to
you
hear
guys are
this
so
lame
mean.
stuff.
Yeah, really. I'm trying to stack on the tank here.
Well, we don't want to do that this time. You just want to stay out of the fire.
And now she says.
Oh yeah, stay out of the fire. That's what she wants. So
We
demanding.
didn't stand the fire.
Excuse me, you want to stay out of the fire.
All right. I got to figure out where I'm going to stand to keep out
So
of the fire.
demanding.
I feel sorry for the healers in my guild, man. They just ask you to do simple things like do the mechanics. Stay out of
Yeah,
things
it's
that will
just like
kill you.
ignore the stuff that's gonna kill you.
And people are like, stupid healers aren't any good.
5% increase for me.
That's good for you,
The
man.
healer
It's all
can't heal
yours.
me when I'm acting like an idiot.
Kurt,
I'm
does that do
mad.
anything for you?
I mean, it makes me tingle a little bit.
Okay, I don't even want to touch it now.
I'm sorry now. Exactly.
Don't want to know anything about it.
Oh, God.
Fire.
Yeah, look.
Why don't you guys come stand down here where there's no fire?
All right, let me
Oh,
put on
this
my
is great.
new whatever it is.
I gotta put more
it's not
happy
that.
oil on my weapon. Less up.
You need happy oil? That's cool.
It gives you spirit.
Ooh, nice.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
Yeah.
That and the itching, you know.
Yeah.
It's
If you-
itching, yeah.
It's an
For
annoying
weapons
itching.
like, we got spirit. Yes, we do.
What are you, a cheerleader?
How about you? Well, it is now because it's like
Listen to this.
got
We got
lesser
Buffy
mana oil
here.
on it.
Yeah, no shit. Hoorah, hoorah, we got to do it. You can see it as we flew it.
Rah, rah, rah. Re. Re. Kick him in the knee. Ras. Kick him in the other knee.
There you go.
Rah, rah, rah.
I had a friend in high school that was like legit a cheerleader.
You know, yeah, the funny thing is my brother
So
was a
weird.
yell leader in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, are you kidding me, dude? You know, it's like, this is back in, I'm going to say the 70s. But he was at Tenderfell High where they're doing the 420 stuff all the time. So it's like, dude,
Funny.
go for
No,
it.
she was not like a. She is not, or was not like a major school spirit person. Like she was not.
Oh, yeah.
She wasn't one of those people. She was. She's an SCA person, still to this day. Society for Creative Anachronism. She's like a giant nerd, and she's a dancer. So she was a cheerleader because she wanted to do dancing and the gymnastics and stuff. That's why she did it. She was like,
I knew a guy.
I really,
Who was it?
literally don't give a crap who wins.
Well, SCA is actually kind of cool, man, you know, because
Yeah.
Society for Consenting
She's
Adults.
really talented. She's a really talented seamstress. Like really talented. So.
You see that? What was I going to say? The
I don't know.
the male
Tell us.
cheerleader. The male cheer. You want to get a word in edgewise? The male cheerleader I knew basically said, you know, it's like you guys are trying to make fun of me for being a cheerleader, but I'm the one out here tossing pretty girls in short skirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You know, it's like, good job, man. That's sweet.
Yep.
But Samuel
I think we had
Jackson
any
did
male
it.
cheerleaders. Did he now? That's funny.
Yeah.
Get your ass over here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chuck you up in the air. Yes, sir.
Wait a second. What the hell are you doing shooting at me for? There you go.
Here comes the boss fight.
Over there just stabbing. He's just stabbing Corey in the chest. And Corey's just standing there like,
I don't have a target.
yeah? Is that so? Does that make you angry? Does that make you angry?
Yeah. Does this feel good?
I'm sorry. Was that supposed to hurt?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Why do you keep
man.
hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Uh,
Immune.
What's up with this? Come on, guy.
Now he's shrunk. Now you can get him. Hit him when he's small. As Steve Martin would say.
Yeah, it's time to get
Now
small.
I am somebody.
Get
Does
small.
anybody here really want to get small? As Jimmy Buffett would put it.
We used to listen to that record over and over again when we were kids. The one with the rabbit ears on
Yeah.
it, where he talks about how he speaks French. And then he just basically says omelet with cheese
Yeah.
over and over again. Just food items.
We saw him.
Steve Martin's comedy is like your buddy's comedy that just cracks you up when you're just sitting around having drinks somewhere.
So we had a
It's very fun.
pub that was part of our dorm when I was in school, college. And Steve Martin came.
High school or college? Pick your
Yeah,
pick.
this is in college. And Steve Martin came and was promoting that album. And so we got to see him perform pretty much. Hey, level 58.
Oh, super cool, man.
Nice. Cool.
He was standing up on this
We
little
got our
stage.
bag.
There were about probably 80 of us watching him. And it's like he did
I
the
didn't
thing
get
with the
a bag.
arrow through his head and all that, you know. So,
Oh,
I got a bag.
yep.
I didn't
got a
get
Satchel
a
of
bag.
bag.
helpful goods.
You should have. It's a
Oh, yes,
satchel
I
of
did.
helpful
It's
goods.
like in the middle of nowhere. Okay, sorry. Cool.
You don't have to
And
apologize.
it's utterly useless to me, I might add.
2% upgrade for me.
I don't think this does squat. Probably because I already have it. Yep. I got it already. That's why it doesn't do squat.
All right.
Doesn't do
If it's not
dippy?
doing squats, tell it to stop skipping leg day.
Yep, that's it.
Ah.
Stop skipping leg day.
So are we going to bail out and try another one, or are we going to call it for tonight?
It's about 10 till 10, so probably we should just call it, I would imagine.
Okay. But thank you for giving me the Dark Iron Forge stuff. That was great.
Yeah. Dark Iron.
All one of it.
Well, I think you can get back in there without doing the whole dungeon place.
I would hope so.
I think.
Well, we'll see what happens.
But I don't
I'm going to bail
really
out of
know.
here on you guys.
I don't really know
so
how.
I'm going to teleport out of the dungeon.
I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna finish my fishing.
Yeah.
You're fishing?
Dungeon. All right, guys. We're gonna call it. We'll probably BS for a little while after we close out the stream, but that's all
No,
we've
are
got
you
time
kidding
for
me?
tonight. If I
Okay.
don't
That's
see you before the next
hilarious.
time I see you, have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for stopping by. I love you all and see you soon. Bye now.